Imagine a woman accused of inappropriately touching a teenager's skirt, all while claiming she was just trying to handle some public disturbance.
So she came up, did that, and then she touches me, or she does that, and then she says, "You're underage, you should probably hide that. If you think I'm underage, why are you touching a minor at all? Especially if you think I don't have underwear on."
Honestly, I was thinking she was a minor.
Well, that's exactly what happened in the restaurant when a woman and her son went for lunch. Ain't a peaceful day.
Are you Ida?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
Good.
Good to meet you. So, these little girls have continued to incite a mob, and I've been harassed all day. Not only did they took it down from St. George Post and her Facebook, but now she put it on Instagram, and now she put it on TikTok.
Okay.
No, I remember you look on my Instagram account, and they've been harassing me all day. So I turn notifications off and everything, but they are trying to reach out to they're inciting someone that reaches out for personal information to people to get their personal information,
Okay.
or someone that is known to like hunt people down.
Okay. FBI?
Not FBI, but someone that can, I don't know, what do you?
It's just a person that will either reach out to communities or through various ways they are able to obtain information and they share it.
As like a
to
private
people to
investigator?
achieve.
Yeah, as a private.
Whether the goal is to get somebody fired, to
Sure.
something like that. It's they
They continue to tag this guy and reach out to this guy to find it, my personal private information.
Sure.
And all of my stuff is usually private anyway. I don't normally disseminate my stuff out there. But in this particular situation, I told them who I was because not only were there minors involved that were all seated around me, but my son was present as well. And so that's the only reason why I was like, listen, charges can happen. You're hanging out, your private parts are hanging out in private in front of minors. That's not something that you should take lightly, cover up. But it doesn't give them the right to disseminate my information publicly like that and to try to harass me to the extent that I've been having it. I believe I'm 100% in believing in freedom of speech but when you omit, delete, and make it seem like one situation is totally different than the other, and then accuse me of sexual harassment without the facts, at some point something needs to be done and needs to be stopped, and they have a reputation for doing this, which is why none of the minor kids wanted to get up and say anything. And so
the video she posted has currently reached 517,000 views.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
It just kind of
And
blew up.
people
it's
are-
far from a speed video. It just kind of
and it's because she's putting me out there as a sexual predator.
Cameron just
Yeah. But the hard part is, even if it's edited, omitted, deleted, obviously you could be looking at slander if it's not completely true. But the fact that you did touch her skirt, she can claim, if she wants, she can claim sexual battery, right? Mm-hmm. She hasn't. There's no legal investigation right now on either of you. Nobody's in trouble right now for any of that stuff. But it would have to be founded, right, on both ends, right? We know that you saw this, but we don't have any video evidence of her hanging out. We don't have any witnesses that have come forward and said this is what's happening other than I only have your account.
Because most of them were men, and I forwarded you a text message of the person that was with me that was a male, and it was like, I would be arrested in a nanosecond if I was sexually accused of touching someone inappropriately.
Oh yeah,
Right?
Not touching. I just mean they saw the witnesses come forward. There's documentation for it, that kind of thing.
But because of the sensitivity of the nature, and everyone thought she was a minor because she did look like a minor, and there was a ton of kids. It was the high school ball.
Did you think she was a minor?
Yes, I did. I actually thought she was, and that's why I was like,
I just don't
So
understand.
he
I don't
got
understand why you
charged.
went up and touched her.
It's protecting a kid by covering their private parts.
Correct, but that's not your job to do.
Well, they weren't covering up, and
Call us. That's what I was trying to tell you.
I was trying to. You could see me on the video
You
trying
told
to
me that
dial
it
the
would
phone.
take too long for us to get there, so you did.
No, that's what But I was trying to dial you guys, but because they had everyone storming in, and you could see how they were being.
I thought she was sexually battered.
Here's the rundown. She and her son were just trying to enjoy a peaceful day out But a group of minors decided to turn the place into their personal stage show. Our Karen wasn't having it because she's worried about her son. She stepped up to play the role of public morality enforcer. And she decided to take matters into her own hands.
Everyone storming in, and you could see how they were being
They thought she was sexually battered. That's her claim.
That's her claim. That's
That's her claim. And all she knows is somebody grabbed her from behind.
No, because I told her that her parts were hanging out. And then when nothing was being done and all the little kids behind me were just staring, that's when I proceeded to cover. And I was trying to dial. I mean, you see me on the video where I have my phone in hand and I'm trying to dial, but I couldn't even dial. And then that's when the owner was coming up. So it's all
I understand that
perception.
there's inappropriateness with how she's dressed. I can totally understand that portion. I can understand that things got blown out of proportion, and I can understand your standpoint from it. But I guess, what do you want me to do?
Well, the post needs to come down and they need to
That's freedom
stop.
of speech. There's no crime.
Not when
They can say whatever they want.
No, but I mean, they're reaching me all their little friends.
Have you told them to
everyone-
stop talking to you?
No, because
Try that.
No, because then that is me instigating them.
But that's the only way that they can be harassing you. If you tell them to not contact you and then they contact you, then that's criminal.
Well,
If you don't say anything and you're engaging in it, then this is just a civil banter that the unfortunate thing is you're held to a little bit higher standard than that.
Oh, but then if I engage in a conversation, then that makes it appear like
You don't have to.
I am.
I'm just telling you, I can't do much. Legally, there is no, I can't tell them to stop posting anything.
So what would be
It's
your
freedom of
best
speech.
advice?
The officer calmly explained that touching the skirt could be considered sexual battery, giving the teen a valid reason to press charges. He advised her to tell the girls to stop harassing her. If they didn't, it would be a crime. Until then, it's just considered freedom of speech.
So I haven't contacted them because I don't have any legal reason to yet. If you tell them to stop contacting you, then I can reach out to each one individually and tell them they can't contact you. It doesn't mean they have to put their videos down, but they can't contact you by indirect means or by direct means. So if they make a fake one, technically it's a Class B misdemeanor for every message they send after they've been advised by me or law enforcement that they cannot. Which it sounds like they're probably going to continue doing that, so they'll be looking at their own charges. But as far as legal, I know where you're coming from, but legally, I can't, and I would be unconstitutionally removing those videos.
Well, no, because I've obviously contacted. See, the problem is that people, they're under the perception that I, like, for no reason approached her. I just touched her inappropriately, right?
For sure.
And if I was a mom and my daughter came and told me those circumstances, I would be pissed and I would be contacting you, right? But because they haven't done that, they're not willing to, and I haven't like addressed it. I haven't approached it. I haven't said anything. I've been pretty silent.
That's the best way to approach it, because everything blows over. The more you incite it, the more it's gonna get views, it's going to blow up. Then the problem you're going to run into is if she comes to the department because of this and she decides that she wants to go sexual battery against you, it's going to be her word versus yours and your word versus hers for the lewdness. And I'm going to end up submitting charges for both of you to an attorney for them to decide, because I wasn't there. I don't have witnesses. I don't have documentation. I have a video of it potentially is edited. I'm not going to use that as evidence. So that's what we could, I mean, each of you could equally be investigated right now. I would prefer that, I don't like charging people ever.
So that's the only reason why I was like, if you don't cover your private parts and someone goes and reports it, like, it's worse that you're 18 or 19 because you're an adult and there's,
Sure.
Right?
Sure,
So,
but it would have been perfect if we would have been there to help that.
right.
Now we're in a limbo where you have acted in a capacity that was also inappropriate and illegal. Technically, as it is a crime. You cannot touch somebody if they do not want to be touched, and especially if it's in the area. If you pull her skirt down and that's touching her buttocks.
Well, I didn't touch her buttocks.
But her skirt is.
Her skirt was way beyond her buttocks.
I understand where you're coming from. I would not want to see that either. I don't want my kids to see that.
Yeah.
But I can't approach that myself.
That's what the
Even me, and she's being lewd. I don't have the right to cover her up. I can take her to jail, but I don't have the right to touch her.
The officer clarified that while he had the authority to arrest her, he didn't have the right to cover her up or protect her from the fallout. He could enforce the law, but he certainly couldn't get involved in the controversy or touch her skirt.
Due to the shortness of her skirt, it was like this, and you could see everything open. And that's why I was like, so I stood behind her, and I was like, go like this with my clothing, and I was like, you know, you should probably cover up. And then at that point, she turned and she was like that, and I was like, oh my God. And that's when the dad was like, cover up, you know, and then the mob rush of kids started coming in. And that's at that point where I was like, oh my God, like you need to cover up. And that's when I pulled her skirt down to cover up, because instead of like covering up and backing up and saying, okay, is my skirt down? No, she proceeded to like lift her arms and move with her friends, and it kept going further up and further up. And that's why I was like, oh my God, somebody like cover it up. And as you can see, they were mob rushing at me as I was trying to stand behind her to cover her butt.
And the information they may have is that they think you're sexually assaulting there. They don't know, but that's what they're hearing.
Correct.
It's a
Exactly.
protection aspect.
A lot of my like
Your best legal defense is to reach out to them and say, do not contact me. The police have been notified. If you reach out to me again, that will be a crime. And if it's clear.
Okay.
And if they continue to message you, they can say hello. They could say, ha ha, Class B misdemeanor.
Yeah, I stood my ground even though they had more.
Even standing your ground though, if you would have never touched her skirt, I mean, I'm filing on her all day.
Yeah, I know.
Right? I have that against her. And I would be reaching out for those witnesses to say, is this happening? Because if this is happening, we got a problem. But now if I investigate this, it's most likely going to come onto you as well.
Yeah, no.
And I don't want that to happen for either of you. I don't want you to be exploited in the internet by any means. I don't want anybody to have to go through that.
So those minors filmed the whole fiasco, and the video went viral, hitting 500,000 views in no time. Then the internet detectives took over, digging up her personal info and sending her messages that were more intense than a soap opera cliffhanger. What was meant to be a public intervention turned into a full-blown online drama with a side of cyber stalking.
Yeah, but I'm an adult, you know what I mean? And if people were to hear my side, it would take a totally different.
So make a
You think that any
so repost your own. You have the right to it and say here's the second half of the story and find your own witnesses and you can do that, right? The same that you can. It's just, is it worth it to you?
No,
Not sure.
because
And I promise this fizzles out very soon because there's not. If you haven't reacted yet through even social media and
It's
stuff,
not what she published to the news.
yeah, like if you haven't reacted, you've got to. It's doing this immediately.
yeah.
People
And-
will scroll to the next.
That's why I refuse to feed the frenzy and add, cinders.
And
I just don't want anybody posting, because I do have my son, my
For
17.
sure, safety first.
Yeah.
And I do. In my line of work, I obviously understand what sympathizers are, right? And they don't need the full information. They just need enough to get heated, and then maybe they show up somewhere they shouldn't, or they have an opinion that was just planted in them, right? Those sympathizers have been known to cause issues. It's just how far does somebody take that? They take it about 2 minutes before they scroll to the next video.
Yeah.
Then the officer turned to the group of 6 teenage girls for their side of the story, who showed up as if there was a free food giveaway. Meanwhile, the victim was dressed in full body coverage.
And then she came back up a second time after Avery came up. Our other friend Avery, fun fact, same name, she was standing right next to her. And the second time she came up, she touched both their hips and squeezed them, like pinched us, and said she was going to call Child Protective Services if she saw. And then the rest was on video.
I saw the video, and I think
Yeah.
57,000 other people saw it too.
Yeah.
When the first time, she never said anything. You turned around. When the first touch, was that just skirt or was that your body?
No, that was my body and my skirt.
So my perspective was, because I
She saw
had the perfect view of it. She's sitting on the bed trailer, and it looked like she got up and said something to her husband or the dude that she was with, handed him something, and then she just sassily walked right up to her, and I don't even think she said anything. She just pulled the skirt down, then says something, and then walks back. And then that's when I told her, I was like, hey, she just pulled her shirt down, that was weird.
And then we all started
Yeah,
talking.
so then there's like this group, they're talking, they're saying this stuff, they're all like looking at her for probably like, maybe like 80 seconds, 90 seconds. And then she gets up again, comes over, and that's when they started going back and forth. I let her go for a sec, and then I went over and was like, just kind of tripped. I'm like, what are you doing? Don't talk to her, you have no right, blah, blah.
And there was mention of where she was saying, I don't want to, in the video she said, I don't want to see your whole ass cheeks, right?
Yeah, but yeah.
And
she's
even
kind
if it was a little bit of, let's say, butt exposed, right? You're not talking your correct?
I had
So-
shorts and underwear on.
And so she's also claiming that they couldn't have been on because she saw, like I said,
And fallen, yeah.
in detail, which that's why I asked those questions,
I
just to
have a
see.
video, she has a video of her going like this in the house.
I got that video, and that's why, so I can confirm that too. I'm just checking that you were wearing underwear. You were wearing shorts over your underwear, underneath the skirt.
Footage?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And the
Am I
full
allowed
video
to see
and
that?
everything.
The footage of the restroom?
Oh, no, they have not.
I'm in contact with the boss, and I asked her before any of this was happening if I could have the footage, and
She just
she,
requested that I go ask.
huh?
Did she request that I
Well, she
ask?
said, so she asked her husband to send it to her, and apparently he was working without her or something, and they both decided to just send it into you
Oh.
guys instead, and like you guys take it over, but I
They haven't
don't
done
think
it.
they've sent it in.
They would need like an incident number, which I can give.
Yeah,
And
she
I can even go
said-
pick it up. It'll be pertinent now. So really, she came forward with claims of the harassment because she was being.
Harassed.
It's not harassment. It's not. There's free speech. You can put.
That's what she said.
The video, she was worried about the videos. Now, when it comes to the messages that were going to like her Facebooks and stuff, she was replying back, but like some of them were derogatory enough that it could be looked as harassment, but it doesn't sound like that was any of y'all.
No.
Fake accounts.
Was TikTok does its thing.
Yeah,
It goes crazy.
Yeah, and she was worried about her safety for sympathizers, like if they showed up her house, her personal information gets aired, obviously she was worried about that, she has kids, like,
Yeah.
I told her that's all valid, nobody should be going that far with this, but it's not that, not asking for people to do that, right? So
Yeah.
it's still free speech, you can post a video, so that part's not the harassment,
Like
right?
everyone thought, so.
Okay, so I told you I'd do a full investigation if they came forward, right? So they came forward with their side of the story, I only had yours. After listening to everything Totality about everything going on, I've talked to Sakura, I got some of their video, I've got the TikToks, I think most everybody in the city has that TikTok. And then we've got your statement, her statement, so I'll try to make it as unbiased and fair as I can, right? I do have some concerns from what I've been told by them. Obviously, some things you've also told to me, right? Even when we talk two wrongs don't make a right, when we were talking about that, I said, there's criminal behavior that's happened, regardless. And the other aspect was, if she was exposed and there was a lewdness aspect, would I investigate it? Absolutely. And that was the other claim, right? Those are two little things. The electronic communication harassment we've addressed. Everything that's come in now is going to be from who knows where. They even mentioned, like, I don't even live in the country, some of these text messages that you're getting. If anything comes in further, you're probably going to have to report that to Santa Clara where you live for the electronic side, because that's going to be now an internet-related crime. Typically with something like this where I don't have video, if I didn't have video footage, it'd probably be going a different route with this because there's video footage and because of the claims made, and I have to protect victims. Today, you're going to be placed under arrest for sexual battery. Okay? So that's the unfortunate side of all this.
You're arresting me?
Right now, you are under arrest, okay?
After the whole investigation, the police told the woman her attempt at being the public morality enforcer was a big miss. Her actions toward the minor were way out of line, and they made it clear that she was about to swap her lunch plans for a stay in the slammer. Looks like her public intervention was more of a public inconvenience.
So you'll just face my sergeant and put your hands behind your back.
Don't mention your purse, please.
No, I was just trying to put that.
Just follow those instructions.
Or just relax your hands, sir.
Do you have a vehicle here?
Yeah.
It's something
No,
We can keep it
you need to
protected.
call, come get your car.
I'm sorry, what?
Is there somebody we can call for you to have them come pick up your vehicle?
What do you have any type of pocket? I don't.
Yeah,
She has two
I
pockets
do.
on the side.
I'll just search those instead of going
I don't
to
have
pull
anything.
everything. You don't have anything concealed on you that's illegal. No drugs, guns, bombs, that kind of stuff. Wearing a bra?
Yeah.
Nothing in your bra?
No.
Okay. They go through a body scanner, so just tell everybody that. I'm not concerned with you shooting me in the back of the head. Are you going to do that?
No, I don't.
Okay.
No, I
These are
honestly
just
like,
standard questions we have to ask everybody.
oh, okay.
Otherwise, I would do a full search on you, but I understand
Yeah.
the circumstances here, so you can just walk this way. Don't want you to follow.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's easier than sorting out public drama and trying to avoid becoming the next viral sensation. Catch you next time for more head-scratching moments and see you guys very, very soon.